So, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another series episode of Interview Experiences. So, we are having a special guest with us, that is Riddhi. So, Terry is one of my good friend and very close friend of mine. So, we'll be seeing his interview experience with InfoEdge and Naukri.com, and he's currently working with their subsidiary, IIMJobs. So, we'll be seeing the experience of how exactly the interview looks like and how exactly he prepared, how you get the opportunity, any kind of tips that need to be shared. So, hi Riddhi,
Yeah.
can you please introduce yourself?
Yes, hello everyone. Yep, as Omraj already told, I am Riddhi, and we have been known, we have been friends since 4 5 years now. I am currently working as a senior software engineer at InfoEdge, and there are multiple subsidiary companies of InfoEdge. I'm particularly working in one of that company, which is IIMJobs, and the project that I'm doing is with Naukri.com. So yeah, you can say I am working with IIMJobs and the Naukri.com in
Yeah.
a parallel way. And yes, I've been in the software domain from 2 years. Like professionally, I've been working with 2 years now. At the same time, Omraj and I have like what do you say, a vast experience working with those tech companies and those different freelance projects and some of the startups as well. So we have been doing this since quite a long time now. So yeah.
Yeah. Great to hear, Riddhi, from you.
Yes.
Just curious to know, how exactly you started with getting the opportunities, and also I just want to be focusing on things that actually worked. Like there are a lot of
Mm.
things that is there. Like you can apply from portal, you can
Yes.
apply from maybe some LinkedIn, whatever, right?
Yes.
But
Yes.
practical things that actually worked for you, and
Hmm.
things that actually you thought worked. The things that you thought that it might work, but didn't work for you. So we'll be
Yeah.
seeing that the practical
Hmm.
things that actually work while applying.
Yes. So honestly, I mean, the market is very tough, as all of you know. Like, and the freshers that are they're trying to apply on campus companies are not visiting as such. The point number one is this. Then you are going out there and taking referrals. Also, taking referral has become very common, right? It's like I don't think like majority of the person apply through a normal link. All of them are applying via referral only. That is the thing. You think of applying via LinkedIn jobs, or you apply via by cold mailing and something. So these have a relatively less success ratio now because the competition is so much.
Yes.
And I would say the ratio, because like the number of openings and number of participants is very bad in the current time. So I'll just share like how I have been, working and how all I got all these opportunities and something. And I think it's something that starts from very starting, and not something that when you say that I am in the fourth year now. Now I am looking for company, or maybe I'm in third year. I am looking for internship. Now I should be looking for applying to jobs or reaching to connect to recruiters and something.
Right.
So I think it starts from very beginning when you make up your mind that okay, I want to pursue tech jobs and something. So in that way, what you start off with is you start off with having connections. You start off with having mentors, having I would say friends and something from which you connect on daily basis, or on you catch up on them, and you know that okay, what is going in the industry, how you can make sure that you're ready to the industry standards.
Building network.
Exactly, network I think is the key here.
Your
And
network is your net worth. That
yes,
actually
network is
says.
your net worth, I would say.
Yeah.
And that even should be meaningful one, because there have been things that say that okay, there is a tech community or something in that, and all you are doing is just hanging out. You're not talking about actual things. You
Yeah.
don't have connection with good people. So that
Mm-hmm.
I think meaningful connections that make sense.
Right.
And if you have that, you'll yourself see that okay, you are already aware about sort of opportunities coming in the market, and once you reach out for referrals, you'll probably have a I would say you'll have a referral that will matter. uh,
Better chance of getting good
better chance.
referrals. Or
Yeah.
there is something called as that people might not been. Many people are not aware of. One is a referral and one is a strong referral.
Yes, exactly.
A strong referral means like when a person is actually vouching, they
Yes.
just applied from the internal portal and also vouching and reaching out to the
Yes.
HR that this
Yes.
is the right guy, right?
Yes,
This is
exactly.
called a strong referral. So if you're having
Yes.
that kind of connections, and connections build better with the,
Yes.
if you provide more value to your connections, right?
Yes,
Either
exactly.
in another way, right? If you're posting
Exactly.
anything, if you are
Mm.
talking good things, if you are
Mm.
having good insights, right? That's
Yes,
where a good connection is being built, and
exactly.
those connections can give you that strong referral and
Mm.
better chance. Like strong referrals are better chance to get interviewed.
Yes, yes, and that is obviously a thing. And at the same time, I would say ki, you have a early mover advantage also, because
Yeah.
for example, if you are not even connected with right set of people, and you're
Mm-hmm.
not exactly knowing what is going on with the interview trends these days and etc. So then
Right.
you'll have to crash out 10 interviews to get to know something which you would have got to know in the very first
Yeah.
interview, before even sitting for your first interview. Something like
Exactly.
that is
Yeah.
a thing. Obviously, as we will move forward, and we'll come to my current role and something
Yeah.
etc. So my current role in the current opportunity that I have got, that is because of a decent network I have had.
Mm-hmm.
I'll talk about it. I'll share about it. That
Mm-hmm.
is, I think, we'll be talking about this in detail. So
Mm-hmm.
yes, that is one thing. And I think what's difference is you have to be a little proactive, right?
Yeah.
We'll have to make sure that you are looking for opportunities here and there,
Hmm.
and not only for internships every time, or not only for something
Mm-hmm.
which gives you a direct benefit. Because
Right. Right.
sometimes being a part of being a part of I say it's community, being a part of something. If there is, for example, if there's a project going on, you would like to
Mm-hmm.
just hop onto it and see if you can contribute in some way
Mm-hmm.
in something. This will also give you an indirect and a long term benefit. So these are,
Absolutely.
I think, yeah. So being a little proactive about, and yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that is one thing which really
Okay,
helps.
okay. Like so, here if I just quickly summarize, having a
Yes.
good network, proactively looking for
Proactive.
opportunities,
Yes.
and
Yes.
adding value to your
Yes.
connections,
Yes.
works, right?
Yes.
Uh,
Exactly.
Also, Riddhi, like just curious to know, like around this only, like, is that like reaching out to HRs or cold DMs or
Hmm.
emails, right?
Hmm.
Have you tried that? Is that work for you?
So I'll be very honest that in the previous times, by previous time I don't say like in the Stone Age itself, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say 1 to 2 years ago, right? This thing would have done magic, because I think the last of my like my previous company, when I joined it like 2 years back. That was my
Mm-hmm.
first full time company.
Yeah.
So I reached out to them via sort of cold mailing, and sort of reaching out to HRs only, because
Yeah.
I knew certain people who knew that okay, there is one company like that which has like decent working work culture, I would
Hmm.
say,
Right.
decent product they have. So
Hmm.
I was sort of tracking those companies, those HRs, that whenever they'll post something or whenever they'll be active
Hmm.
about certain jobs, I'll reach out to their DMs and something.
Hmm.
And I've also like heard a lot of stories about cold mailing and something from you itself, right? So you have told me that there have been a lot of opportunities that you got with the cold emailing. So yeah, that really worked previously. In the current times, see, a lot of students, a lot of my juniors and etc. They keep on asking me that how should we get the companies?
Hmm.
Not a lot of companies are giving us a chance. So I
Hmm.
used to give them this sort of suggestion that try cold mailing, this, that, etc.
Hmm.
But turns out that it does not have that much of a success ratio now, right? You
Hmm.
have to think of better things. You'll have
Yeah.
to make sure that you get noticed, right? Because almost everyone is doing that cold mailing thing
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
So
Makes
yeah,
sense.
people should have a better
Makes sense,
chance.
Riddhi. I think currently it's so much crowded and everyone is doing that. So how you are
Exactly.
going to stand out?
We'll have
That's
to see. Yeah,
important.
yes, exactly.
Exactly.
Previously, not a lot of people were doing those cold mailings. Not a lot of people were reaching out to HRs. So
Hmm.
that's why it worked at that point of time.
Hmm.
Now almost everyone is doing it. So we'll have to think of something better.
Yeah.
That yeah, that
Absolutely.
really makes
Yeah,
sense. Yeah.
Riddhi, makes sense. Makes sense. Curious to know, like, Riddhi, like, how's your preparation strategy? Like, how did you prepare for, like, if you, let's say, because I think it requires, like, few set of steps that how
Yes.
exactly you prepare. So, just curious to know. Just share your preparation strategy.
Yes. So honestly, the first thing is always about that. You can't just say, for example, I want to make a switch. So I'll just leave all the DSA problems, or I'll just I have no hands-on experience on the tech stack that I'm working on,
Mm-hmm.
and just maybe fixing bugs, or I'm just sort of doing a sort of maintenance task.
Hmm.
And I'll start tomorrow, and then probably in the next 2 3 months, I'll probably have a better job.
Hmm.
Maybe this can happen if you're all into the preparation, but I think the preparation starts way earlier. When you're even looking for a job. For
Yeah.
example, if I'm working in the current role, right?
Yeah.
I know that obviously I'm not going to retire from this job only, right?
Hmm.
I'll have to switch in between my career.
Yeah.
So in between also, when you're doing tasks, when you're you have some new thing to implement. So I think the preparation on all these things starts from your daily
Hmm.
day-to-day job basis, and that is where you will not feel that drag. Because if you'll just go in the last moment that, oh, I need to solve 10 DSA problem a day, I need to read about high level designs, low level designs, I need to revise all of my tech stack fundamentals.
Yeah.
So that will require a lot of commitment, and I don't think ongoing with the job you can
Hmm.
afford to have those
Yeah. Absolutely.
much commitment, right? So yeah, for example, if I'm getting requirements, I'm getting tasks and something, so I'll make sure that I'll give my 110% to that. I'll for example, I know that I have to work on the high level designs, I'll have to work upon maybe any particular fascinating concept in my tech stack. So I'll do
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I'll keep on reading about it something, and wherever I'll get a chance, I'll try to implement it.
Okay, okay.
Right. And also having decent hands-on experience in between. For example, what worked for me is that while I was in my previous company also,
Mm-hmm.
I was indulged into some small freelance projects and some
Mm-hmm.
assignments which require me to test my JavaScript fundamentals, which
Yeah.
requires me to test my all these tech stack fundamentals.
Right, right.
So that kept on going. That made sure that I have decent confidence, because when you apply, when you think of switching, the first thing that sort of pulls you away is that, okay, I may be not having, and maybe I don't have that decent confidence on JavaScript, or I don't know how what they will ask me when I'll sit for the interview. So
Right, right.
that's the first thing that will help you gain that confidence, and you'll go forward. That okay, I think probably I'm at least a bit ready for the interview. So that
Yeah.
is the first thing. The second thing, obviously, is that you can't just crack interviews just with those sort of loose habits of daily coding certain things or having a little hands-on, because that requires you to be more expert, that requires you to be more refined about your skills. So what I did is, I think I had taken something like 2 to 3 months prior when I made this switch, right? Prior when I resigned from the job. So from like last 2 3 months before this thing, I started doing lead code questions. I was not giving much time to DSA, which is, I think, which is a bad thing, by the way. But still, I knew I had much confidence on my development skills. There is more onto the lead code part, wherein I was trying those lead code 30 days 30 days JavaScript problem series. It was good, I would say. Anyone who is specifically looking for switching into the front end domains for, I think, beginner level to mid senior levels, or even for, I think, decent senior levels, they can surely try that. This is a very good thing. They have good questions, good series. There was a lot of learning that I got from there.
Okay.
At the same time, I have also gone through the some system design series.
Okay.
I think particularly for front end, there is a JS Cafe. There
Yeah.
is channel. There is, I think, front end design yatra, something like that. So I've gone through it. It was good. At the same time, some very popular series like Namaste React, Namaste JavaScript,
Yeah.
Namaste Node.js. So those were also very very helpful, because it helps you to sort of collect everything together. Because, for example, I've been working with JavaScript since a long time, right? I have sort of a muscle memory of doing certain things in a certain way, but I might not be able to put it out into a presentable way, or I'll
Right,
not
right.
able to collect everything together when it comes to answering it. So I think those things, just having a recap of it, would really help.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've gone through the lead code problems on JavaScript. I have gone through all those sort of courses I have listed, like Namaste JS, Namaste React JS, and
Yeah.
the Node.js. I think this is a full-fledged combination for once you're going for a month
Right.
stack.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and for system design something, I've gone through that what to say, JS Cafe ka those channels. I've also gone through miscellaneous other videos also. I'm not able to list them in a way, but yeah, I remember that I've watched that video in a full-fledged manner. That is what I'm
Yeah,
doing.
definitely, and we are going to provide all these such
Yes. We
related
can.
things in the description below in this video
Yes,
about
yes,
like whatever is required, whatever they have
exactly.
tried, and what are the best
And
resources
work
to
for me.
actually go through. We'll be attaching them in the description.
Yes. And
Absolutely, Riddhi.
one more thing I would like to add here
Yeah.
is that it's that when you are practicing, when you are going through the series of practice, right? Also talk to somebody who has made a recent switch, or who that is something like more. I would say more in the mode of that. Okay, this person is almost ready for switch, or this person has made a recent switch, something
Yeah,
like that.
so
Because
he
that
probably
will
know
help
the
you.
market, like how what exactly
Yes,
market is
exactly,
expecting, what are the
exactly. How's it?
commonly things being now, what are commonly things, right?
Yes,
Maybe
exactly.
you are prepared 2 years back, right? Now they
Yes,
might have not that much relevant, right? So I think that's
yes,
very important to get mentorship. They're very important things
yes,
while
yes.
preparing.
Exactly. I talk to a person who is making a switch, who has made a switch. That will surely give you lot many added advantage.
Yeah.
So I've also talked with certain people who have made a switch, and
Hmm.
that helped me a lot.
Yeah, that's very important. Like
Yeah.
if you're having someone mentoring you, that really helps a lot, giving you direction, right? Yeah,
Yes.
Riddhi. So Riddhi, like I'm just now just wanted to know, like, you have done your preparation, like, so what is specifically is your InfoEdge interview experience looks like, right? So let's break this down into like multiple rounds, and what is the focus of that round, and
Mhm.
any kind of thing that you want to mention for that particular round, please do that.
So I think I can now list that thing which I was talking about, that
Yeah.
having a good connection helped
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
getting into the rounds in a more seamless manner. So what happened is that I had one of my junior, right, whom I really helped. I think this is what he says, that whom I helped in in his starting of the journey
Career.
of the
Yeah.
something, yeah, DSA something part of it.
Hmm.
So what happened is that he got on-campus placement on the InfoEdge,
Yeah.
right? So I think I was just mentioning it somewhere or something, or he called me someday and said that, yeah, I have got a job at what do you say, InfoEdge,
Influence.
and we are into the process of hiring the senior MERN stack developers,
Hmm.
right? So let me know if you need any referrals or something from my side. So I was like, yes, I am looking for a switch.
Yeah.
It would be
Obviously.
helpful if you can give me a referral. So he said, "That's I'll make sure that I'll get you a referral from a very senior person, and I'll personally vouch for you, and then I'll make him go through your work and something. He'll if he'll feel that it is a good thing,
Yeah.
right, we can go forward with him."
Hmm.
So he made sure that I got that resume from my team lead,
Hmm.
under which whom I'm working right now,
Hmm.
right? So he had gone through it, right, and he might have felt that it's a decent resume to go through with.
Yeah.
So he, sort of, he directly contacted the HR that this is a decent guy. I think we can have him for an interview.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this thing made me, sort of more, my referral more seamless.
Hmm.
And I think they used to have an online assessment before as well. Like, I think if anyone will come through a normal process, they'll have an online assessment. So for me, the online assessment was skipped
Not
also.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think the resume was decent enough.
Benefits of a strong referral.
Yeah, benefits of strong referral, I would
Yeah.
say. So yeah, so first thing I think would have been an online assessment. So
Hmm.
that was good.
Hmm.
The second thing was, I had sort of a technical round, DSA technical round, I would say, with the team lead, in which I was given DSA problem.
Hmm.
One was something, although I was supposed to solve all the DSA problems in JavaScript only,
Okay.
because the core, I would say, requirement for this role was
JavaScript.
something. Yes, something who is very strong with JavaScript,
Yeah.
right? Because they can't compromise on the JavaScript
Hmm.
fundamentals. They can compromise on, for example, if you have not gone through, maybe let's just say Node.js, you are working with Nest, you are working with any similar frameworks of that. That
Yeah.
is still fine.
Hmm.
They won't have strong fundamentals on JavaScript. So
Right.
yeah, I had to solve all the solutions, all the things. I'll have to submit the solutions on JavaScript
Okay.
specifically. So first was a DSA problem, which was, I would say, a medium level question, not
Okay.
that very hard. It was somewhere like a variation of merge sort, I believe.
Okay.
So something like that. There were scenarios, there were edge cases, and
Uh-huh.
instead of submitting something, he was prompting me that what if I'll add this as a test case,
Yeah.
how you are going to handle this.
Got it.
So that was about it. It was something around 1 hour round.
Right.
And after I solved that first question, he gave me a question entirely on the concept of JavaScript.
Oh.
So it was more about, he wanted to know, the this and the binding of this. Like, for example, you'll have to sort of create a constructor function, something like that,
Hmm.
in which, how do you chain the context of this
Right.
accordingly. So it was that. So this was fun. Also, again, he was adding more constraint
Hmm.
as I was.
Complexity as well.
Yeah, something like that. He
Yeah.
was having follow-on questions about it. So
Hmm.
first round was 1 hour of round.
Okay.
We had to solve two DSA questions.
Okay.
One was entirely, I mean, both of them entirely has to be solved on
Hmm.
JS. So yeah, that was my first round. After I was done with my first round, I had a decent feedback.
Hmm.
And the HR reached out to me for the second round, and I think the second round happened after 1 or 2 days. I
Okay.
think when I was doing this, there were some elections and all these things going on in the
Hmm.
Delhi. So
Right.
I think due to that, we had 1 or 2 days of gap in between,
Okay.
and then after 1 or 2 days, my second round got scheduled.
Got it.
So in my second round, again, that is also of, I think, 1 hour or 1 hour, 30 minutes.
Okay.
In that, I think it was done by some AVP or something of engineering of
Okay.
our team.
Hmm.
That was more focused upon, again, core fundamentals of JavaScript.
Okay.
He was more interested to know that if I know all the concepts,
Hmm.
and if I can also handle the demonstrations at the same time. They were, again, scenario based things, right?
Hmm.
He, again, all of the thing that I did in that round, all of the coding that I did in that round was particularly based upon JavaScript.
Okay.
I had to write pitch perfect code regarding it. I cannot just say that, oh, I'm not getting the syntaxes of it and something. So
Yeah.
that was made sure.
Hmm.
At the same time, it was a brief about project also.
Hmm.
What project I have been working.
Hmm.
Since my previous project, I mean, the project that I was working in my last company was something very centric towards React and JavaScript.
Okay.
So we had a detailed discussion upon that.
Got it.
And obviously, there was some question followed about, why are you thinking to make a switch?
Okay. Yeah.
At the same time, what do you think you'll do better here? What you are not doing in the previous company. And by the way, when he was asking about the product, so he found that I had a decent knowledge of my product,
Mm-hmm.
right? So he was like, if you have so good knowledge of your project, why are you thinking to get into a new domain? Because previous domain was different, now this domain is different.
Yeah.
So why are you thinking of switching the domain? So
Yeah.
we had some discussion, and I also got to know the perspective of a person sitting on a on a decently higher level, right?
Mm.
Because I think I remember I answered this very lame way, that I want to switch because I want to solve different set of problems or something like that.
Mm.
In which he replied that, dude, sort of, it's not like the problem statements will be very different as such. It will be sort of whatever feature you have developed, right? Right? It's that similar features will be developed across all the domains. Is that how better you can do about it, right? It's not that I was saying that I've developed one feature here. Now in the another company, I'll do another feature. So it's like a feature will be same. Just that how do you solve and how do you sort of scale it? How do you maintain it? That is what makes the difference. Yeah. For the round three, I got the invitation on the the same day itself,
Mm-hmm.
and that was, I think, with the CBO slash CTO,
Okay.
because in the third round it was with the CTO of our company, of our unit. So it was very interesting round. All the rounds were very interesting in the way, because they were also asking about what I did earlier,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time asking scenario based requirements. For example, this was the product,
Mm-hmm.
what if you'll have this type of challenges,
Yeah. Yeah.
and also this is a very cliche question, that what were the challenges that you faced, how did you overcome.
Yeah.
So they made sure that it doesn't remain like a cliche question, right? Because it's like people give very answer that, okay, I was stuck with this implementation and I took help, or I used a clever approach to get that. So it was not like that. It was a very detailed discussion. We also had we also had talked about high level design, about suppose, for example, you had I previously I created a social engagement platform like that.
Yeah.
Like how did you realize that these type of collections you are going to use? How do you realize that this type of relation you'll make? It was first like that.
Okay.
Then he was also like, what if I'll give you a scenario? I want to implement a LMS type of scenario. I'll have so many entities here, and what approaches we will take. It was not like much of coding there, but a lot of like approach discussion that happened.
Discussion.
Yes, approach discussion that happened.
Hmm.
So yep, once I got done with it, I think the HR reached out to me on the next day itself,
Okay.
and once we got done with these three sort of technical rounds,
Okay.
then there was an HR round, and I thought that it will be just like a why do you want to join in that set. It is
Yeah.
more than that, because in InfoEdge what happens is, based upon all of your feedbacks, based upon specifically the feedback of the HR, your band and all these things, they get decided.
Right.
So it was with HR BP, as we call HR business partner.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yep, it was with them. We again had a lot of I would say behavioral round and all these type of
Yeah.
discussions with them. It was somewhere around 1 hour only. So
Okay.
almost all the rounds were of 1 hour or 1 hour 30 minutes.
Okay.
It was like that, and once I got done with it, I think I got a confirmation on the next day
Okay.
that
Okay.
it has been all a positive feedback,
Hmm.
and yes, we are ready to move forward.
Okay. Okay. So is the compensation is also discussed in the last round only?
So it was more like, what are your expectations? And at the same time, I already had an existing offer in my hand,
Yeah.
and I was also sort of very immediately available. So
Yeah.
all those factors, like I had,
Contributed and
yes,
giving you might be a better offers that
yeah,
they might
those
not work
helped
out.
me to sort of negotiate and bargain a
Yeah.
little bit about my availability
Yeah.
and my existing offers and something.
Yeah.
So yes, so that was more about, although the final figure was not sort of disclosed or something like that. It was like, what are my expectations? They just
Understood.
got it. And at the same time, I was also going through all those Glassdoor reviews, and
Right. Right.
condition of like salary range,
Hmm.
what are they offering, and etc., and the negotiation things. So it was that. And then once that round was over, the recruiter HR, they reached out to me, and they're like,
Okay.
this is the sort of band that we are offering you,
Okay. Okay.
and this is the sort of offer letter. If you feel it's fine, we can
Proceed.
onboard you. We can yeah,
Yeah.
proceed with it. So all of it, I think it took 1.5 to max. Like it took 2 weeks to get done with all of these.
Okay.
And once with this 2 week, in the very next week, I joined the
Okay. Got it. That's great. That's great to hear. So Riddhi, like you have been through that, right?
Yes.
just specifically want to know, like, what do you find different about InfoEdge? Like, if someone is applying, if they're coming
Mm-hmm.
from a very generic mindset of preparation, interviewing, right? What
Mm-hmm.
exactly they need to be considering before getting started with the InfoEdge interview?
Okay, so first thing is that InfoEdge is a very vast entity, right? We have a lot of business units inside
Right,
them,
right.
and a lot of, I would say, teams inside one business unit,
Yeah,
unit also.
yeah.
So obviously it would be different. For example, I was going through IIMJobs kind of interview, right?
Right, right.
And jobs kind unit. So it will surely be different from,
Hmm.
for example, a person sitting for Jeevan Sati, a
Right.
person sitting for Shiksha. So
Yeah.
that is it. But I think the main thing that I noticed, through all these sort of interview rounds is that your fundamentals about a tech stack that you have been working with and
Hmm.
that you have been sort of interviewed for
Hmm.
has to be very, very clear.
Okay.
And if you are a working professional, if you have a previous working experience, they are more interested about what contributions you have done in your previous roles, and sort of I think, yes, about contribution and what you have
Yeah.
majorly done, implemented there. That was I think that was the highlight.
Hmm.
Yeah, and for I think fresher, then the process might be slightly different
Hmm.
because you really don't have any professional experience
Hmm.
to showcase. I think there they focus more on the problem solving approaches.
Yeah.
Obviously, they'll give much harder and tricky, trivial problems
Hmm.
to solve, and then they move forward. So yeah.
So they need to be generally, if anyone is applying or getting interviewed with InfoEdge, they need to be focused more into the fundamental side.
Yes.
Also, what they have worked upon, they have a core
Yes.
deep understanding of that.
Yes,
I think
this is
that
deep
works.
understanding. And yes, if they can, tweak around with, for example, sometimes it's happened that, in certain organizations happen that if you are a software engineer, if you're a junior software engineer,
Yeah.
so generally all those approach and all those implementation side of thing is decided by your, your mentor or
Seniors.
the seniors or something, and you just
Right.
have to implement it.
Hmm.
So that doesn't give you an overall idea about how you can scale it in a better way, how you can, have done this in a better way.
Hmm.
So I think you also need to be at least involved with that thing, that okay, if somebody is deciding that the solution need to be implemented in this way,
Hmm.
like why are we coming with this approach, right? If
Yeah.
there is anything better that we can do,
So we
right?
have to
So
be curious enough to
yes,
actually learn.
obviously, yeah, software in engineering is all about being curious and being
Hmm.
about yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
imaginative. So yeah.
Yeah. So, Riddhi, like, any tip and uh, tricks you wanted to share with anyone of our viewer, like related to applying, related to cracking interviews, related to maybe getting the answer delivered in a good way, right? So, any kind of tips that you wanted to share, please do that.
Yeah. So as I've kept on noting those points in between
Right,
our
right.
interaction.
Yeah.
So first thing is always about being more proactive, right?
Yeah.
You can't just complain that I didn't got the offers, I was not getting
Hmm.
noticed by the recruiter if
Yeah.
you're not giving your best, because the competition is very fierce
Right.
out there. You'll have to be something. You'll have to be a person who thinks in a better way, who thinks sort of early also in a way. So I think being proactive, that really helps you get more connections, get more opportunities. The
Hmm.
first thing is this only.
Yeah.
Second thing is having a habit of constantly involved into the process. Like it could be if you are implementing some solutions, right? You can have a talk with your seniors, your teammates, and something. And again, one more pointer that I added is that, for example, if you're learning something, software engineering is all about learning, right? So if you're learning, if you're, for example, if I'm, for example, in the current time, I'm learning more about system design patterns, right?
Right.
So if tomorrow I'll have a solution to implement, I'll think of that whatever I've got learning from those, sort of blogs, articles, YouTube videos, I'll try to somehow implement a part of it in
Hmm.
my part. So yeah, it is about constant learning and putting out there.
Yeah.
And third is about when you are going for your interviews, right? So make sure that you do a research about what band the company offers.
Yeah.
It's also about what sort of are the expectations from your role and something that will help you. And also, if you can do like you have any offers or all these things, this will help you fetch a slightly better offer from there, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's that of being aware about what they are looking for, being
Hmm.
aware about what they are asking for, so that you can prepare yourself accordingly. That will help you, do better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So now, Riddhi, like that's pretty valuable things that you have added. Now let's move to a fun part of this
Okay.
particular interview. That is going to be some sort of quick, rapid
Yes.
fire questions. So I'm going to ask you. So
Yeah.
the first question is, what is your favorite programming language and why?
Hands down, it's JavaScript, because JavaScript has been something which has been there since a very long time with me, and it has fetched me a lot of offers, a lot of opportunities, a lot of connections and something.
Yeah.
So I would say, yeah, JavaScript.
Absolutely, and most of the people seems JavaScript is so scary.
Yeah, I think they haven't studied it properly, or they haven't given it much of their
Good
time.
answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Good answer. Good answer. Okay, the next question is: if you could have dinner with any tech leader, dead or alive, who would it be?
I think in the current time, I'm very much interested about having a talk and one-on-one with Akshay Saini. Although I think you remember that we had met him in one of the conference.
Yeah.
He's crazy, and at the same time, Raj Vikramaditya, right? This
Yeah.
tribal, right? Because
Yeah.
what is fascinating about them is that you always feel that you are in a full-time job. How can you do something
Hmm.
as a side hustle or something like that? So I think about Shriver is that how seamlessly he's managing his work at the same time, and he's delivering such an outstanding platform. He
Yeah.
has, I'm pretty sure that he has a decent team working, whom he has to lead, whom he has to direct
Manage.
after his working hours. So
Hmm.
that's part. And similarly, Akshay Saini has also gone from just making courses and those tutorials to making a full-fledged platform. So
Yeah.
yeah, so I
Absolutely.
would,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think these are two of my favorite as well. So
yes, yes, yes,
hands on.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
So what one tech buzzword you secretly hate?
Uh, I think buzzword. I think it's more about those vibe coding and this prompt engineering, and that is the future type of thing.
Yeah.
Because and people saying that okay, AI will take your job and something. I think this is such of a very very shallow idea to to go with. It's not that it is going to just replace all the humans. Like we had calculators or we had computers, then didn't mean that all the accountants or all the mathematicians were out of the picture.
Absolutely.
It's as simple as that. I believe so. It is something. Yeah, I think. Uh,
Good example, Riddhi.
yes,
To
exactly.
to tell like you should not be
Yes.
scared, right?
Yeah, obviously you have to keep up your game. It's not like that after the introduction of computers or calculators, you will still be involve yourself into all those manual stuff and not do the real stuff.
Hmm.
So yeah, you'll have to upskill and you'll have to up your game. Yeah,
Okay, that's great.
yeah.
So, what's the most bizarre bug and error you have ever faced?
I think not particularly about one thing, because initially when I was working with React.js, so one thing that I sort of kindly hate, sort of kind of hate about the React.js is that the error, all these things that we get, right? Sometimes it gets little, unintuitive that what it is trying to say. We
Hmm.
get something like, this, that, etc. It takes some, time to, and also when we are doing all those third-party integrations with that. So I
Hmm.
think initially I used to hate a lot that React.js and all these errors that it used to give. Now I got more handy with it, and now I think it became more predictable for me that what it is trying to say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great. Okay, so this is the last question that is for this round. That is like, if you weren't in tech, what you be doing instead?
If I wouldn't be in tech, I would be surely, I think, a teacher for chemistry, maths, physics, something like that. Because I think I had, I enjoyed, teaching students and giving them the learning about it. And if not tech, I'm pretty sure I'd be doing all those physics or maths or something related to that. Because yeah, I think this is the only thing that I would have done.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
wanted to appreciate like I have worked with Riddhi, like so he's an amazing teacher. You
uh,
could have
that
find
is.
him teaching, and you can reach out to him anytime. He's available for help for anyone. So I think that's the best part about Riddhi. So he's very approachable, very open to discussions, right? So I think
Yeah.
that's pretty much it for this particular call and this particular uh, interview experience that we have to record. So thank you so much, Riddhi, for having this and making the time so much valuable for other viewers as well. So thank you so much for having this.
Thank you so much for having me. And it is good, right? It's good that we can help with our experiences and something. And it
Yeah.
is also nice, very much catching up to you on this Sunday morning, and
Yeah.
having to discuss about the
Yeah.
yeah, having to discuss about the interviews and experience, and just summarizing what we have been doing since all this time. So
Yeah.
yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much, Riddhi. Thank you so much. Have a great day. See you next
Yeah,
time. Bye bye.
bye bye. Bye.